Hello, my name is Second814, and welcome to my review of It Chapter 2. Yes, that's the second movie based off of Stephen King's It, and a sequel to the 2017's It. So, starting off the back, did I like this movie? Yes, actually I did. So, now. Oh, did I like it better than the original? I have to say, I was gonna say no, but it's kind of a tough call. I mean, no, I guess I should. Well, honestly, I think I have to go. Though I think I have to say I like the original a little bit better, and I'll get to why. I I I know I know a little bit, but so for back, one thing I want to say. No, one thing I want to set here at the back is the cast. Casting was excellent, and I think all of the cast did a wonderful job here. Bill Hader, James McAvoy, eh, Jessica Chastain, all of the, and everyone else, and Bill Skarsgård. I think Bill Skarsgård did a wonderful job as It. It's Pennywise the Clown. So yeah. Now, I also thought. Oh, but I need to. Excuse me. Sorry about that. My train of thought just derailed for a little bit there. But anyways, as I was about to say, the cast here did a wonderful job selling their performances. They all will definitely act like it's 27, like they would 27 years later after they come back home where they experience something traumatic. From Eddie is sorry, I can't remember his name. Eddie, who was basically scared to Bill. Well, I thought, James McAvoy did a wonderful job as Bill. Bill, I thought, excuse me. Jessica Chastain, she did a wonderful job as Beverly. I mean, they all just did a wonderful job. Especially the interactions with Pennywise, which I'll get to those in a minute, but or in a few minutes. But yeah, so yeah, the cast I think did a wonderful job. That being said, I do need to address why I think I like It 2017 a little bit better. And that's just because I think It 2017 was a bit more intense than this, or just felt a lot more intense. And don't get me wrong, there are some pretty damn good scares in this movie, but It 2017, it just had this constant sense of dread to it. I didn't really feel that here. Now, here. I didn't really feel that intensity here. However, I will say, but like I said, there are some good scares. But I think maybe it's just because when it comes to It 2017, maybe it's because it was kids, and it was facing kids here. They're all adults and experience, and they're coming back to face something that they Yeah, I mean, I guess yes, they are still scared, but it's not. They're not kids anymore. Also, or and also, I just the original. Oh, well, just had that sense of. I guess maybe it's because they're adults, but the original just had that sense of hence of intensity, and that you actually feel like this or like felt that this thing was really after them. Well, I shouldn't say that you felt, but you really did feel. But you did feel for the characters. It Chapter 2. I mean, you still feel for the characters, but not, at least for me, not in the same intense way that it 2017 did. Now, well, I will. Now there are some good scares, airs, airs here. I will say I do like the parts with Pennywise. Pennywise is Bill Skarsgård. I think did a wonderful job. Now, uh, I like the makeup for Pennywise here, and I thought all the run-ins with Pennywise were awesome, except for one. And this is a major spoiler, but with the scene in the beginning, there's a scene in the beginning where a bunch of bullies beat up two dudes who gay dudes and toss one of them over a bridge, or toss one of them off a bridge, and then the one struggling, Pennywise fishes him out and then kills him. Now I understand that was basically trying to set up the fact that Pennywise is back, but given that it's never mentioned again, and it felt a little unnecessary to me. And I know, like I said, I know why it was there, but it just since we never mentioned again, I could have done without that part. Now, I will say that, like I said, escape airs. Now the first one I want to talk about is obviously the Chinese scene. Now, some people might think it's a little over the top, which admittedly it is. I'll admit it when they're talking, it's funny, honey. I will say Bill Hader is very funny in this one, but I will say that when stuff in the Chinese restaurant starts going to hell. Oh, 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 I mean, if you, I, at first it's all right. It has some of the classic breaks like the eyeball, but then there's this one. Like in the beginning, there's this one pot. Or well, okay, well before everything goes crazy, they have a bunch of fortunes that spell out how I guess Stanley couldn't cut it, indicating how basically Stan did in fact commit suicide. Hide before but anyway, when he was called back. So yeah, and then when I admit when things and stuff first start going to hell in the Chinese scene, there's like this fortune cookie with like this creepy multi-leg baby thing. And I'll admit, that was creepy, but creepy. And then what looks like some sort of weird mutilated dead bird, but I mean, yes, they have the classic eyeball, but then things just kind of go crazy. And eventually it ends with like a Chinese woman walking into Bill Hader literally bashing the table with a freaking chair. And it kind of just evolves from fun, scary to okay, well, a little silly. So yeah, ah, blah, blah, blah. Although although I will say one thing I liked is how each member has their own individual hairs. Well, we don't exactly see all of them. We don't exactly see Mike's. Yeah, but there is a bit of a trippy scene with Mike. But anyways, yes, there is the scene with. But anyway, so yeah, and I will say, hey, the individualized scares with Pennywise. I thought that it were. I thought they were kind of. I thought they were all, all done very well. Now, if you've seen the movie, I mean, I think my personal favorite one was definitely the one we see on the trailer, her with Beverly, where she literally gets chased out of her old apartment by a by an evil demonic naked old lady. And wow, I thought the old lady was creepy in the trailer. You ain't seen shit yet until you see her in the movie. Excuse me. So yeah, uh, that was interesting. I think one thing I also liked in this movie I will say, I actually did like the effects in this movie. Normally, I mean CGI he can be frightening, but here I think it was done well enough of that you're not gonna probably not gonna care. I should say CG. Sorry, I meant to say CG. CG has a tendency to be or CGI has a tendency to be a bit silly looking. But here I think it was done with enough that I think it would come off more as frightening. Is what I meant to say. Sorry about that. One of the effects I did like was Patrick Hockstetter, or rather, I guess you could say his ghost or something. And we all know that now. No, well, Henry Bowers is in a mental institution. With with, and of course he finds his, and of course, he gets help from the ghost of his friend Patrick Hockstetter, and then he dies. Now I will admit, Henry, he, Henry, I think he has a bit of a very reduced role in this one, rather than being a major tormentor of the. In this one, he's really only seen a few times, and then he's few times. Unlike in the original in 2017, where he is constantly after the kids. So, oh yeah, the main tormentor is Pennywise, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, and I will. So yeah, and do want to say before I move on addressing the cast again. I thought Bill Skarsgård did an excellent job as Pennywise again. Now, like I said, Pennywise, I think, well, you see, Pennywise is here. I was about, but I'm about to restate. But anyway, I think I do want to cover one scene on the scene with him, and it is the scene with Eddie and the leper. Pepper. So when Eddie is facing down the Pepper, when he goes back to the pharmacy, pharmacy, pharmacy. Well, I mean, he goes back to the pharmacy and he somehow ends up in the basement. And then when he's facing down the leper, one thing he ends up doing is facing down the leper and actually almost kills the former Pennywise. But of course, it vomits on him. But yeah. So I thought that was interesting to showing Eddie coming out facing his fears. So yeah. Anyways, is also so one thing I so liked about this one is the showdown. Whereas and now whereas in the original, it's them standing up and basically literally fighting this thing, hiding this thing physically. Here, what it is literally a battle of wills. So it's them basically outwilling Pennywise, and then basically ripping his heart out and crushing it. So yeah. Also, one of the things I have to say that I kind of missed was seeing all the kids float down there. In the original, no, we literally saw when they went into the sewers, we literally saw all the missing kids literally floating down there, as in floating in the air, in the sewers. Go watch the movie. It's better if you just watch it than me explain. But anyways, so yeah. Alright. So now I will say, that at the ending I thought was good, where it basically showed was a wrap up to the story. It showed was where everybody ended up. I have to say I did like the ending, and with that I should probably cover where. One thing I should probably cover though, is how where we see where every character is now. We know, I mean, obviously, Bill is now a writer. Richie is a stand-up comedian. Jessica Beverly is married. Ben is a successful businessman. And Mike is based, and Mike's still in Derry and has developed a really unhealthy obsession with Pennywise. So yeah. So yeah, that I liked. Now, one thing I thought was interesting is how a lot of their current lives, I guess you could say, do kind of reflect what happened when they were kids. And an example I will use is how Beverly, we see that she has a bit of an abusive husband. As her husband tries to prevent her from going back to Derry, and we see, well, things get a little physical. Oh, That I thought was interesting. Although in the end, we do see that we do see that things did work out well. I guess maybe that's because of Pennywise, but not eyes being destroyed. But yeah, so yeah, it yeah. So yeah, uh, there's a also. Sorry about that. So that's about everything for it chapter 2. Ooh, without major spoilers. Although one thing I did forget is even with the individual scares, one thing I do did like is how we see is how it's basically they have to go find and their own individual tokens, and I like how we see when we do that we see each of them have an individual have a flashback and have a memory. Then he found them as kids. That I liked. Right. Right. That I thought was a great way of character building. Building. So yeah. That was. And so that's about it for it chapter 2. That's about basic, and so it is time for the final rating. My final rating for it chapter 2 is a 7 out of 10. I think it could have been higher, but for me again, it just wasn't as intense as the original. And like I said, there are some definite good scary parts in here, but there are some good scary but it just didn't have the same intense feeling or of the original where we have the literally you feel for. I mean, not I said you feel for these characters, but it's not like I think maybe you feel with the original, like I said in the beginning, because they're kids. It's I guess that I think that's what makes it a little more intense. But anyway, so yeah, uh, I just thought, yeah, I think it could have been higher, but I think a 7 out of 10 is good. Would I recommend to go see it? Absolutely. If you are a fan of the original, I think that you absolutely have to go see this one, just to see how they end up dealing with it. Oh, yes, that it, and and I promise you, the final showdown with Pennywise is not something you will regret seeing. So, oh yeah. Now, it chapter 2, 7 out of 10. Go see it. And well, that about wraps up for this video. My name is Second14, and thank you so much for watching. May the wind always be at your back. See you next time.